everybody. We are going to be doing the Lunch and Learn for social media, branding, how to build a social media page, which Katie will cover. We'll talk about branding, marketing, from some different viewpoints from our personal experiences. So we'll get that started. But I know, do we do these first?
No, that's okay.
Okay, Billy's not here, so we don't really, we're just gonna like roll with it. She's on vacation in Idaho for a couple of weeks. But what we're going to do is start with introductions. So I'll start with myself. My name is Jamie Donovan. I am the Community Relations Manager for Orla Mining here in Elko. Orla is currently permitting a new gold mine south of Carlin. But I've been in the Elko area since 1989. I started first grade at Northside Elementary. And my family moved here because of the mining industry. And I've been here outside of my short visit away for college for most of my life. And my favorite thing about the Elko area is there's a couple things, but I think for being such a fairly small community, a small town, I mean, we have fantastic restaurants and food choices. And then we have a really cool art scene, which I know Katie's involved in, with plays and just live music and getting to go see some really cool things that I love about our community. So that's me. Let's go ahead. We'll clockwise.
My name is Katie Ashley. I am the membership support coordinator here at the Chamber. So I handle all of our membership sales and then maintaining relationships with our current members. I have been in Elko since 2007 on and off, so since I was in 6th grade. My favorite thing about the Elko area is just the sense of community I get with all of various activities. There's me at PopCon working that last weekend.
Which I got from her Facebook page.
But just all of the various things that not only I can kind of dip into, but watch my kids grow into as well.
Let's go rounds.
Trevor Hanlon. I am relatively new, been here about 3 years. Retired from the military, somehow got hornswoggled by my kid to come out here and work. So I packed all my stuff up to North Carolina and poof, I ended up in Elko of all places. Drove over to the Summit, saw Spring Creek and the view, and said, I'm a Montana boy, my wife can't go to Montana, she'll freeze to death. This is a happy medium and it's beautiful, so this is where we'll stay. I'm the lead admissions out of the Battleborn Youth Challenge Academy out in Carlin, Old Fire Science Academy, and joined the Chamber recently. They kind of gave me some ins and outs, and I'm here to spread the word and try to help.
I'm Zaina Alexander. I'm the school secretary at Battleborn, and he's my ride back to that place because I had to drop off a car. And so I'm just here because he's my ride, but this actually pertains to me because I do the social media at Battleborn. So this is a happy, it worked out. I've been here since 2014. So I'm not like relatively new, but I'm still newish, but I did not grow up here. And my favorite thing is actually all like the fun things that happen every weekend, and you don't have to just plan for it. There's always something happening.
Doing introductions.
We are, yes.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Donna Hershey. My husband and I own Greater Choice Health and Wellness, the health clinic in town, medical clinic. We provide primary care, but in a functional, we do functional medicine. So we provide a lot of detox therapies. We're talking about heavy metal detox and doing a lot of unique therapies such as EV. We're bringing in a lot of regenerative health to Elko. We're really excited to be here. We've been here about 2 years, and we're really looking forward to serving the community.
I'm Scott Gaborski. I run a consulting firm in town, Gaborski Consulting, doing a lot of public outreach and working with nonprofits on various stuff. Let's see, I've been here since 2012, came down and teach at the college for a number of years, and then worked a bit with the Census Bureau, did a lot of work with the tribal communities, stemming from that. And I have to second the art scene, particularly since one of the big events, Poem Pints, is coming.
Yeah.
So,
My favorite.
Yeah.
I'm Pam Lane. Today I represent Naturopathy Lane. My husband and I are, the naturopathic doctors, or he's the naturopathic doctor here in town. And I'm going to become nationally certified, which would be awesome for that part. And they'll sit there and really dig down to the roots of why are you suffering from an ailment. Maybe say, oh, I got this, and this. You may not think that they're related, but overall they may be related. And they'll have those different herbs or supplements and a diet regimen to sit there and help you figure out how you're going to make your body feel better. So I've been here since 2003. So I don't know, that makes me almost a native. And so I came here from Kansas via California. And what I do like about it's kind of like, everyone else is saying, there's always something to do. Being involved with the nonprofits, it was hard to find a weekend where you're not conflicting with someone else's schedule and fundraiser event.
My name is Steve Richardson. I work at Ameriprise Financial as the administrative assistant there. I've been here since 2006 on and off, so I moved here when I was a sophomore. From Alaska, by the way, so it's very, very different, and that's probably not my most favorite thing about Elko, but I do love the community, and especially like being in a chamber. My mom was a part of it for a number of years, but I never really got into it, and now I'm just learning more about it.
Hi, I'm Sue Hoover. I own Journeys Around the World Travel, so I'm your local full-service travel agent. I have been in the area since 2013, so sort of new myself. Love the outdoor activities. You can always find something to do, winter, spring, summer, fall. Gotta love having those Ruby Mountains right in our backyard.
I'm Nina Johnson, and I'm just here to learn. And I graduated this winter, so I've been here a very long time.
I'm 12 Tapia. I'm with About Outdoor School, which is an outdoor learning nonprofit. I'm an Elko native, so maybe you can here. And my favorite thing about Elko is the opportunity to get outside, and also we have a little oasis of trees here. So.
My name is Haley Bamsberger. Let's see, we moved here for a 2-year project. That was 27 years ago. So my husband, to come here, it had to have a little nugget, and it was that I would open up a hobby store or something to keep myself happy. That was 27 years ago, which is Indigo Haley's downtown. Next month we celebrate our anniversary, which is super crazy. We do everything. We started as antiques and flowers. I used to do a ton of fresh flowers, weddings and things like that around here. And then turned it into more of a just treasures, gifts and treasures. I'm super passionate about essential oils and getting to the root cause of things, because there's so many of us that are walking wounded. So I love Elko because of the community. I think that we belong to one of the best communities, that when there is something going on, everybody comes from everywhere and helps to support that. My favorite thing is the Lamoille Canyon. I ran into some people up there last weekend, and I said, so what do you think? And he goes, I'm telling everybody that I saw a bunch of people with black hoods walking around up here. And I'm like, perfect! Because it's so, our nature and our blue skies are so awesome. The other thing I love about being from Elko is people have gone through it. Most people, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we passed through there to get gas or whatever. But people come from everywhere. It's a melting pot, and you can belong here. So that's one of my favorite things.
Thank you. And then Miss you in the back for the intro.
Named Brad Brazil. I also work in Ameriprise with Katie. I've been here about 4 years. How do you not love the Ruby Mountains? I came from Vegas, so don't hold that against me. Been enjoying it ever since up here. I've raised my 3 daughters at 10, 9, and 6 at Liberty Elementary. And I'm happy to be part of the community and part of Chambers, just learning to grow and network from here.
All right, so now we'll start our formal presentation. I'll pass it over to Katie, who's going to talk a bit about social media, how to build your pages, and how to get started with that piece.
Okay, my portion might be a little boring because I'm looking around and I'm pretty sure most of you have business pages, but I'll just be quick. So why social media? There's a lot of reasons why marketing on social media and having a business platform on there is good for your business. You reach a larger audience. You're hitting Elko, you're hitting the beyond surrounding areas, and you can network or net that out further than that as well. You get to build a community around your brand. So there is a whole lot that you can do with that. Actually, as I was putting this together, I was looking at your Facebook and Instagram, and Indigo has a great community around their brand with everything that you're posting and how you engage with people on that. Engaging directly with customers. A lot of people, because of websites aren't very social, there's not that aspect there. When you're closed, you're not answering your phone, you're not answering emails, having that option for people to reach out to you on social media lets that, with comments, with messaging, that engagement can start right there, and that can be huge to build your clientele. And then cost-effective marketing. Marketing can be very expensive, and having the option to not only have free advertising through social media, but to be able to pay into that in a cost-effective manner is helpful. So Facebook versus Instagram, each platform has unique strengths. I'm going to be focusing on these two because these are the most widely popular based in our area. And most people are utilizing these two platforms from anywhere between teenagers up to various adult ages. These both have different things that work best for different kinds of businesses. But utilizing Meta Business Suite, which runs both of them, is helpful because you can utilize that and plan everything out and hit both platforms without switching back and forth. So Facebook, it's best for detailed information and customer service. Again, just reaching that customer base. Great for community engagement, especially in this area. We have so many groups. We have so many different pages that connect people with each other. We have the community hub. We have Elko Woman Cave, Elko Man Cave. We have like 7 different Elko peoples reporting news, which can be good or bad depending. But we have so many different places that you can get that information out. And of course, all being chamber members, we're also sharing your stuff. Everything Elko's sharing your stuff. So many different places to engage with the community, and then events and announcements, which make it super easy to do with the event, I guess, planner on Facebook, because you get to plan out all of those events and let people know where it's at, what's going to be there, and they can put if they're coming or not. Instagram, you can see Haley's page right there, Indigo Gifts That Inspire, her Instagram page. So Instagram, you're looking at visual content focus. So a lot of retail businesses, Instagram's great for retail. You can showcase products, you can do behind the scenes, you have the option for hashtags and trends. Hashtags also are on Facebook, but they're not as popular there as they are on Instagram. And then with reels and different things, stories, it changes the game. So this is just talking about how to create a Facebook page. Again, most of you already have this. You do need a personal account to create a business page. You're going to add in your business details, your contact information. You're going to want a profile and cover photos on your Facebook page. A lot of people utilize themselves as their profile picture or their logo. I believe the chamber is our logo. And then cover photos, that can change depending on what you're doing. The chamber changes our cover photos pretty constantly depending on what event we have going on, but that is going to vary depending on what you're trying to promote with your business and with this page. And then Facebook is very customizable. You can find templates. There are tabs that you can change out so that in your little column on the left-hand side, everything is easily accessible to you. And then publish content. Again, most of you have business pages, but you do want to start posting and getting information out there and just continuously engage with people. And then this slide just kind of shows you the steps. So you click see all profiles, you click create new profile, create new page, and then you create your business page. It's very user friendly, it's very simple to create. Instagram. Same kind of thing to create a business account with Instagram. You do want to sign up with your business email. That's the easiest way. Add a profile picture, a bio, and contact information so that people can find you and reach you. Connect with Facebook. Linking your Instagram to your Facebook page is awesome because, like I said, Meta Business Suite, you can do all of your planning in one space and not have to jump between apps or between screens if you're doing it from your computer. And then first post, share an introductory post or video. Instagram is really big about videos. Reels have been hugely popular with TikTok coming out and everything else. So utilizing those opportunities in the platforms that we already know Elko uses and loves is huge. And this just talks about how to get set up. You're gonna go into your profile. You're gonna click the little menu option button, tap settings, switch to professional account, and then you'll be able to describe your business and put in all of your information. So with the two platforms, again, Facebook's really good for events, groups. Elko is huge on groups. We have so many different groups on Facebook. I think the chamber is part of 15 that we post to regularly. Stories and live videos. Instagram, again, stories, reels, IGTV, which was a new thing that I had to look up when I was doing this. Instagram TV is kind of neat. I don't know if any of you have played around with that. And then shopping. They do have shopping options now too. So some of the businesses that do offer, again, retail or any type of product, that's a great opportunity for you. And then we'll jump into questions. Any questions on creating pages or anything that they offer? All right. Cool. Jamie?
Alright, so Haley and I, we're going to talk about social media marketing, and some of the stuff that we're going to talk about, Katie covered a bit in her section, but social media marketing can be very different depending on your business. So I've not owned a private business up until just recently, but I've always worked for mining companies. So whether I worked for Newmont, I worked for Barrick, I worked for Nevada Gold Mines, and now I work for Orla. So the way that we market on social media is much different than how Haley markets on social media for a store. So it can be useful, social media can be useful for any different type of business. It just depends, your posts will be different, right? I'm not selling anything, people just like to buy gold, which is wonderful. But in the mining industry, right, we are marketing for potentially employees, right? We want people to come work for us. We want to show what we're doing, the good things that we're doing in the community, and we want people to see that. We want to help it with our social license, have it help our social license to operate, and just have like general knowledge and information about the mining industry as a whole and who we are and what we're doing. So a bit different than the smaller businesses and even the chamber for that matter that have different focuses than we do in the mining industry. But still important to have a presence in that sphere as industries go. So like Katie said, people use social media. I know most businesses, most companies do have websites, and I know there's ways of tracking how many people click on your website each year, but people really do use social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, which Katie said, those are the two, the big ones, which we'll talk about in a minute, but then there are other options as well for social media. LinkedIn, YouTube is considered to be social media, some other options out there as well. And then I don't know, Haley, if you want to talk about how you use marketing for your small business or for a retail store.
So I know one thing for certain, people buy or spend money with people that they know and trust. So how do they get to know you, and how do you get to know other businesses? So it's really important to be able to put on social media, whatever platform you choose, because there's different platforms for different ages. I spend a lot of time on Facebook. And that's my age, that's where I'm comfortable, that's where I know how to market my business and have conversations that my customers are going to be interested in. So then you've got Instagram or you've got TikTok, and so there's all different ages. So until you get to know one and you're doing it very well, I say stay there and then expand into the other places. Now what Katie was mentioning is there are ways to link them together, and I highly recommend it. So a lot of times my social media page that is the best is probably Haley B Essentials. And we're on there really a lot doing the education on essential oils and safety and stuff like that. And then we're commenting back into Indigo, which is a place you can purchase it. So I'm using 1-2 comments on the other and share from the other back and forth. And then I'll personally go in and I'll do that sometimes also. It's important for me that people get to know who I am. So I'm posting that I'm going to the canyon and I've got, you know, a new puppy. And because if people can relate to that, then they feel like they know me. People all the time are coming up and they're going, oh, hi, and I'm like, I don't know who you are. Like, I really don't know who they are, but if they say their name and they have commented or interacted with me on social media, instantly I go, oh yeah, I do know you. Because the people who are following and commenting on my pages, I'm doing the same for theirs. I'm also promoting them. So recently I had an event that was really fun, and I had somebody who attended then take that event and share it with her people who I had no connection with at all. And yet I was instantly connected because of the way that they knew and trusted her. So you guys, as you guys are creating things, and they're not all good, right? They're not all huge hits. Sometimes I'll post something and I'll have tons of people comment or like it or share it, and I'm not even sure why. And I'll have other ones that I'll spend like an hour putting something together and no one will even see it. You know, social media is kind of crazy that way. Is there's algorithms also, you know. So as you are then looking for people who have common interests and you are commenting, you're seeing more of it. So if you're just going through and scrolling like this and you're just kind of surprised that nothing's happening, start interacting with people who are your target market. Start noticing what they're doing. Start commenting and adding value. So I love that everywhere I go, I add value. That's a connection piece, right? Okay.
Yeah, no, I think that's great.
Yes, so for my store, right, my store is a little different because it's like, what do we have inside? And if we can create enough interest that somebody can see it, because when we post that stuff, people do come in. But if I don't give a description, like I'll literally say something like, it's like today, it's cool to be in school. And what is different that we have that you're not going to find other places? And that curiosity, hey, come on and see it. We've got, you know, we're limited on what we have and getting that interaction. Sure. And you can use the same thing, whether it's a restaurant, right? I love when I see restaurants post, hey, today's special is.
Yes, me too. Like early enough for people that maybe like that eat early or go to bed early. It's like, oh, that's the special. Like I'll go there for dinner.
And a picture of it.
And a picture. And instead of after, I'm like, oh, I wish I would have known about that before. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, as restaurants or whatever, you post a sale that you're having or different things that people see and then come to your place of work and spend some money, which is a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I liked your comment about how you will post a picture of your puppy or you're going to Lamoille Canyon hiking, like connecting with folks. And that's something that I try to do. So I managed Nevada Gold Mines Facebook page for a while I was still there, and then I left and came to Orla a little over a year ago. And Orla didn't have any social media presence. We do have a LinkedIn account from corporate, but we didn't have any Facebook page, Instagram, anything like that. So I started
local.
And yeah, nothing local, right? So I'm like, we need to do this. So working on building that up, and something, yeah, there's the technical stuff, and there's our quarterly reports that we send out, and that kind of stuff, the press releases, those all go on our social media pages. But also, it's like, oh, it's National Smile Day. So I go around my coworkers do not like me. I'm like, smile for my camera. So I put you on National Smile Day on our Facebook page, or National Sons and Daughters Day, right? So I reach out to my coworkers, which we have 15 of them, so not very many. And I ask for if they're okay with sending a picture of them with their sons or daughters for National Sons or Daughters Day. And trying to do some of that piece, right? Showing the community, showing our followers that we are people and we're from the area. Like for Nevada Day last year, I added up all of the years that all of the 15 people that I worked with had lived in Nevada and put that on our post for Nevada Day. So, because that's something especially I see in the mining industry when we're meeting with local stakeholders and it might just be a thing in general, but the fact that we're all not from here, but we've been here for a long time. We didn't come in from different countries or different states or different things, and showing folks that yeah, we're part of this community, and we want to improve the community, and we're going to be here even after we're done mining and that type of thing. I think that goes a long way with folks. So that's what we try to do on our Facebook page as well, is just be real without, I'm also, I have my personal page that I post a lot more stuff on, and I think I have a personal business page, but just trying to show people that we are people, and you can have fun with those national days and tracking those national days and doing posts specific to those or doing sales specific to those, things like that kind of catch people's attention. So. And I am really bad at following the slides I put together, so we'll see.
We'll see what we get to.
We'll see what happens. So why is social important? So we've been talking about this. 2 times more customers are twice as many customers are likely to share a negative experience than a positive one, which I know we see this, right? In everything. You see it. You can do so many good interactions with people or have, customer experiences, and so many of them go positive and nobody says a word. And then you get one person that's unhappy with their experience, one person that's unhappy with, the services that were provided, the food that they received, the service they received, whatever. And then they're all over social media, on all of those reporting news pages, telling the whole world or anybody who will listen to them how terrible you are, your business is, and, sharing that with the world.
So I talk often about, quotes are awesome. However, being the change really means going out there and being proactive and being the change, not just having a pretty quote. So one of the things that we've done is we try to promote any other business that we can. So if I have a good experience, I'm going on there and I'm talking about it and I'm posting it, I'm tagging them. So we just went to the Underground Speakeasy, if you guys been yet, right? And it's okay, I'm sitting out there and I'm like, this is so cool, I'm gonna share it right now. And the owner actually came out and said, hey, I know you from years and years and years ago. Thanks for sharing this. Because, we had a bunch of looks at it, we had a bunch of comments, we had a bunch of people say, hey, what was your experience? I would much rather promote that type of thing than be known for the person who's spreading a bunch of garbage. Right. And so do your customers and your business a favor and see how many people can I promote? How many other businesses can I promote? I think that's because that positivity is also something that we need more of. We need more of that in the world, right? So we get to be a part of that. And I'm just going to say competition is really healthy. And when people see that if you have a competing business, say across the street or down the road or whatever, and you're saying kind things about them, it really is good. And they understand that we're all just in this town and in this community to make it better.
And like you said, and so many comments about what we liked about the Elko area was the community, right? The things there are to do, the community in general. So what better way to help build up that community and make the community a better place to be is build up those other small businesses for sure. People look at reviews before purchasing. I am one of those people. I read reviews like crazy before I purchase stuff.
So leave a review.
So leave a review, absolutely. Yeah, leave reviews, whether it's on something you purchased, a place that you stayed, a place that you ate. Trust suggestions from their friends, right? Like you mentioned earlier, people trust they buy what their friends buy, or they trust what their friends trust. So that's something to think about as well. And then also taking recommendations from their friends, or they're either they're just social media friends or they're real friends, either way. We talk about negative interactions having a cost. So that's something, and I think different businesses handle this differently. Some businesses are completely silent on social media, right? They don't respond to comments. They don't, and I think that's just a choice your business makes, right? But something to be thoughtful about is when you get the positive comments that you're responding to, what do you do when you get a negative comment? So just being thoughtful about that. So you're not fueling the fire, right? So if somebody is saying something negative about you on your social media page, where you typically respond to all the things, and then you go radio silent when you get these negative comments. So deciding how you're going to manage that as the business owner and the social media owner for your business is what you need to do. I've worked for companies that it's just silence, right? You post and that's it. Like none of the comments, it doesn't matter. You're just posting to post. So sure, go ahead.
In a situation like that, you get a negative experience, whether it be retail, it doesn't really matter. What are your options? Because if you try to make it right on social media, and people see that, now everybody's going to take that opportunity to post or get a deal or whatever.
Sure.
What are your options?
So, and this is from my experience with my communications background. If with negative comments, to me, I think it's better to follow up with them personally. Yeah. So reaching out, sending. I mean, and if it's on social media, right? That's the only way you have their contact information, if you will. Sending them a message personally and following up on what's going on. I also believe, as the negative commenter, you shouldn't post it on their page. You should send them a message privately or reach out to them as a business owner. But we all know that a lot of people don't do that. There are some people in this world that you are not going to win with. Like regardless of what industry you're in, regardless of what you did, regardless of what they think you did wrong, like you're not going to be able to fix it. And arguing with them publicly on social media is probably not going to help anybody. So that's my thought. I don't know if Haley or anybody else has some feedback on how to handle that.
We had a situation a couple years ago when somebody came in and purchased some holiday items and got home and sat in the corner for a few weeks till a month after Christmas, and then came and said they were scratched and she wanted to return them. And she put this on social media, and I, at first I'm going, well, I'm not telling you what I was thinking. But I'm like, never would you ever try to take back something like that to any store and be able to take it back. So I did respond, and I responded as kind as I could as a business owner, and a situation where this is something that isn't acceptable anywhere, but we will do our best and I will honor if you will communicate with me. And I just invited her to come in and talk to me about it, and then that we always, as a business person, we always do what we feel is best. And we always want it to be a win situation, and so I did comment on it. And it died. Like, it just died. People, I've been in the business for a long time, and people, like Jamie says, like, there are haters out there everywhere. And that's okay. That's okay. Because I still get to hold my head up high and stand up in our community and still show up, So I think the integrity comes from who am I as a person, and if you back them into a corner or something, then people smell that. It's just like being the good citizen. It's like, I'm grateful that you brought this to my attention. I will be contacting you. That's what I would say. And then I would totally take it off and do something else somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I do think that you need to acknowledge it.
Yes.
So that there can be an end to the fire.
Closure.
Yeah.
And then I've also seen, like, especially with businesses who have had management or owners or something in the past that have gotten them a bad rep or anything like that, and have switched over into new management, new owners, and what have you, that have kind of taken the negative comments into their own hands, where they're reaching out looking for it, where they're saying, hey guys, what can we do to be better?
Yeah.
And they're starting the conversation to get that feedback. And then they're going back and being like, hey guys, thanks for the feedback. We're going to look into all of this and take it into consideration.
You can't fix what you don't know.
Yeah.
And so if you are thankful for it to come up to the light, then let's handle it the best we can. Gone are the days, and the newspaper's not here, but gone are the days when you undo a newspaper and you get to have all the highlights and all the things and what the community is up to and all the stuff. You have to go into social media. So whether your business chooses to be on social media, whatever platform it is, it doesn't matter, you need to have a presence so people can get to know who you are. Because if I'm choosing between 4 or 5 different hotels to stay at, I'm going with the one that shows the pictures, talks about the what we offer, who it is, because I get to see it. It's almost to the point now with social media, if they're not saying something, it's like, what are they hiding? I'm sorry, but yeah, right? It's like, why aren't they on social media? Why aren't they showing pictures of their people? Why aren't they showing what they have?
Right.
But social media, so you guys get to decide, how present do I want to be? And I think another really important key is communication back and forth with them. It's like if I walked down the street and I said, hi, good morning, hi, good morning, hi, good morning, and no one said hi, good morning back to me, I would double jerk, you know, and pretty soon I would stop. So even if, I mean, I take it probably too far sometimes, but people like my page, people share my page, people comment on it. I'm always in there saying, hey, thanks for sharing, thanks for commenting. Oh, I love that pencil. What did you love about the pencil? You know, but I'm in the business, so.
That's great. I have an example. So previously, Newmont, years ago, there was a post on a People Reported News page, and it wasn't the Elko one. It was I think Batman or Rebecca. Anyway, about a fatality. So there was a post that this incident happened at a Newmont site, and there was a fatality, which was not the truth. And that was a rare case where the company actually posted on one of those reporting news pages just to squash the rumors as fast as possible. And with that, and a lot of, at least in my roles in the past, we follow those pages, right? You follow all of the reporting news pages to see what's going on, or if there's something that's being posted about your company. It's amazing what you can learn on social media and what people are like. I know every time when I was in HR at one point, like recruiting, I'm like, I don't know if we're gonna hire that person. But with that, right, it was a very factual response. This is what happened. The person that went to the hospital got checked out, and they are home and they are safe. And you know, there was not a fatality at the site today. And I think because that stuff, once it gets on social media, can go crazy, and it's really hard. It's hard to manage, and it's been frustrating to me for so many years with what gets posted on social media. And so bad I wanted to create a fake page, right? So to tell people what I think about them. But it's just, if there's something out there that needs to get squashed, just getting on top of it as quickly as possible, getting the facts out there, and not being like, well, I can't, not attacking the person for posting it or anything like that. Just say, this is what happened, these are the facts, and then it shuts down, right? People stop because it's not interesting anymore. It's not exciting anymore.
Especially because there's a lot of people, even in our community, that utilize social media, and they'll just be the ones scrolling through, not necessarily commenting, but reading everything, who take everything as gospel. Who are like, oh, it says this, and that's how it is. And that's all they're gonna think until you're on there relaying the correct information.
So I may have my facts wrong on this, but Sue has a travel agency, and so she had some travel troubles.
Oh, recently myself?
Yes.
Yes.
And so for a travel agent to go on there and say, hey, this happened, I mean, it's real life.
Sure.
And this is how we handled it. And to me, it was just like giving her more credit, getting to know her more. She's not hiding anything. It's not like you're going to travel and not have anything come up, right? And so I loved that you did that.
I think the transparency. I think like being transparent and being vulnerable and being honest and real. Like, I think people appreciate that, right? So I think that's great. So we talked about the key players, as Katie talked about earlier. So Facebook, Instagram, same. They're the same, but those are the big ones. So if you can get your Facebook page managed, and like she shared, you can connect it to your Instagram page, so you're posting both places at the same time. It makes it much easier, and you may have different followers on each of those pages. And then Google or YouTube. I know the Chamber, we started a YouTube page, right? So the Chamber has a YouTube page. If that's something that works well for your business, go for it. And I like what Haley said earlier. Get one going well first, right? So you're doing one well, and then you're like, okay, I'm ready. This one's handled. Let's grow to another platform, instead of trying to do all the platforms at the same time and not doing any of them very well. Twitter. I think I'm too old or something. I don't use Twitter. I think in cities, maybe Twitter might be a bit more popular. Twitter, whatever it's called, might be a bit more popular. She is it.
There we go.
She is a tweeter.
Do I get a prize? No. I should get a prize for making me smart for the first time. We'll totally. Yeah. It'll be good. It's a prize. So
she's a tweeter on Twitter. Okay.
But then LinkedIn. So then LinkedIn is something that I use fairly often, just on like the business side of the world, right? Looking for people, for employees, posting the press releases, more of just business type stuff. We use that a lot, and I think it's a great platform that may be forgotten about by some folks. But those are kind of the big ones. I don't know.
Know where your market's hanging out.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
So
Know who
my
your people are.
husband wouldn't be caught dead on Facebook.
Yeah.
And yet that's where I get to promote my business for not free, but I mean, yeah, pretty much, you know, and he is on LinkedIn all the time.
Sure.
You know, and I'm not. So find your place.
Yeah, and then especially like if you're trying to get community in general, which I am with my page, right? So we have a LinkedIn page and we have Facebook, knowing that there's different, right? There are people that follow us on LinkedIn that don't, I would imagine, don't even have Facebook pages. So catching more folks. All right, so I wanted to kind of move into branding a bit, but does anybody have any questions, comments, anything that you'd like to share, knowing that most of you already have social media pages? You'd like to chat about anything else you'd like to cover, Haley, before we move on to branding?
Sorry.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering how you're dealing with the fragmentation of the social media community up here. You know, we joke about the Elko people reporting news pages, but one of the things that's happened, and granted, this I'm managing a political page, not a business page.
Sure.
But one of the things we're running into is trying to cross-post to 6, 7 different 8 groups, right? If we have something like a list of local government meetings this week.
Sure.
You know, Facebook starts getting mad at you for spamming,
Yeah.
right? So how are you dealing with that from a business perspective? Are you just scheduling out your things where it doesn't trigger their spam thing, or?
See, and I wouldn't be the best one to speak to that, probably, because I don't post on the group pages with my business page, but
Right.
maybe the chamber, you guys are posting on all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we have kind of like a set, I want to say like 5 or 6 groups that we use consistently. It honestly, what I found, it depends on algorithm, it depends on the group, the moderators, the rules for the group. There's all kinds of things that go into that. Megan usually does our sharing stuff. If anyone else has any experience with getting hit with
Would
the
it matter,
spamming,
like, if that group
but-
had an admin, like, that has to approve stuff? Some
Yeah,
groups
so,
don't have that.
like,
So, like, if I post on a certain page, poof, it's there.
Right.
But then
Right.
some I have to get, like, approved by
and that
whoever.
does
Sometimes they
happen.
do, and sometimes they don't.
Well, this is the Facebook spam filter.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is so, you know, if you go out to post like to 4 or 5
Yeah.
groups at once, and it might be somewhere that if they have a moderator, that's
can
what
merge
triggers
it.
the spam
Right.
thing. I don't know. It's
Well,
something that's popped up here recently.
What I would do, what I would try is, especially if you're like on the back end with the Meta Business Suite, because that just makes it super easy when you're sharing and posting and scheduling
Right.
those out. So if you're scheduling a post, you can, in that suite, right, you can automatically set it to share to certain groups
Okay.
when it posts. So maybe try that, and maybe try staggering it and hit like 3 groups when you're posting it, and then go back through and be like, okay, I hit
And then
those
share
group,
it.
and then share it
Yeah.
and try it that way.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's times of the day to post, and I
Right.
think breaking them up, so 7, 11, 3, 7, 11
Uh-huh.
are the times that you're gonna catch most people because they're at work, before work, drop the kids off, after lunch, whatever. But you really have to try to beat those algorithms. So posting to multiple groups, I would have, when you're scheduling the post, if you create it, have different groups set it together, post it, and then I would just go in there and share it from those. But I mean, you're going more than about 3 or so, you're getting flagged.
Yeah. And that's the problem we're running into, I think.
And then when you get in there, you can do @followers. So if they're following your main group,
Right.
you do that, but I use that not frequently because I hate getting tagged in everyone
Right.
unless it's something that's really value or important. So like a meeting schedule or like a replay of a conference or something like that, I'm saving those for that time.
You can also highlight them too. If you highlight the post, certain followers will get a notification that you highlighted a certain post as well.
And everybody may know this that runs your social media pages, but that Meta Business Suite, where it allows you to calendar out your posts and really think about it ahead of time. And I love, because I'm such a, like, with my communications background, editing, proofreading, like all of that is so important to me. And I think it's really important as your business pages to make sure that you proofread everything that you post, make sure that it looks professional. But with using that program, you can create your post, save it as a draft, right? And then it'll show you what it'll look like when it goes live. Or you can create your post and then calendar a time for it to go. Like Haley said, these certain times are when you're more likely to catch people. So if you think of a post at, whatever time, and that's not a good time to post, you can schedule it out and then it'll just post automatically. It's great for people that want to go on vacation, right? And you can still have your posts go live on social media when you're not sitting at the desk to hit post.
So strange enough, depending on your community or your audience or who you're trying to attract, some of those might be like 1 a.m. Because there's a lot of people who have a hard time sleeping, and what are they doing, and I've found that we get a lot of interactions sometimes when we randomly have things at really strange hours.
And if you think about it, we're a mining community. We have people who are working all kinds of different shifts that utilizing that calendar to schedule them out, because I don't want to be awake at 1 a.m. to post it. We'll give you the freedom to hit some of those late night crowds too, while still managing to, do everything else you need to do.
Yeah, and it helps because I'm very much one of those people, like if I don't do it or if I don't put it on my to-do list, it's gone. Like I've forgotten about it completely. So I know if I've calendared my posts on social media, they're set, they're ready to go. I don't have to think about those anymore. And then your boss thinks you're working on your day off, which is fantastic. But I think it's really a really cool tool. It's very user-friendly for anybody that's not familiar.
I would recommend looking at the live view though and making sure that you're proofing and reviewing everything you're posting, because I have had quite a few members, I won't say names, that I've called and been like, hey, you have the wrong information on your post, or hey, you have misspelled words on your post, and you don't want that either, because you want to put your best foot forward when you're presenting yourself to the public, which is what you're doing through social media.
However, I have put an upside down picture on purpose.
To see if people are paying attention.
Well, and that's one thing, right?
But it'll give you the view, like the computer view and the cell phone view as well. So like then you can see, and I know it's wonky, but once in a while, like the cell phone view, like it might cut a word off, and then all of a sudden you just have like a swear word because it cut off the rest of your word. You're like, you totally So it's really good to like check both of those to make sure it looks the way you want it to look before you schedule it.
Reels are really good on Instagram, like I said earlier, but Reels on Facebook, you get a preview, so you don't see the whole video until you click on it and pull it up to open it up, especially if you're utilizing your phone. So there are times when I was doing marketing before I came back to the chamber where words were getting cut off in the video and stuff like that because people weren't clicking on it to open it up, and I was like, what is happening? And that's why. So different platforms have different sizes, different platforms have different settings on previews and different things like that. So you have to be looking at all of that when you're going into it.
One last thing before we move on from social media is having a hook. Start with a hook. Something that's going to catch them off guard, something that's going to draw their attention. Life is so fast these days that if you don't have something get you right now, you're been passed. So hooks.
And they're not going to read paragraphs of stuff. No.
Sometimes it's appropriate, but more than likely not.
Just like hit the bullet points, right? The big things that you want people to remember. And then also post regularly. So don't just create your page, post, and then stop posting. So whether it's sharing other people's stuff, celebrating the National Hot Dog Day, whatever, like all the things, just make sure that you continue to post regularly, because then people will interact with you. You'll gain more followers. People are sharing your stuff.
So along that is scheduling. So I'm a scheduler, I'm a list maker, and so my schedule is, on Mondays we do this, on Tuesdays we do this, on Wednesdays we do this, and I'll make sure that it's well-rounded. Like we'll have quotes or we'll have National Whatever Day, we'll have information, here's a call to action, here's what, come in and talk to us. And so when we have those types of things, nothing gets skipped. And I don't have to do that. And then if I take it a little bit further and I have a month theme, and then I have a weekly theme. So everything that I'm talking about that week has to do with each other. So people, and this goes into branding, is it's like people will see it more than once and they're going, oh, hey, she had something for allergies. What was that again? I don't know, but she said it again and again and again and again in different ways. And so people start to remember the golden arches. I mean, there's, and going into branding, I don't know what this is, but yeah.
Talk about the
Yeah.
arches. Okay. So any more comments, any feedback, any more questions on social media?
How much time are you spending per week or whatever on trying to build your social pages?
I think that varies business to business.
Sure.
Because
So when we're doing content, like if I'm going for my monthly theme, I save a ton of stuff. We use something called Trello where we store everything, and then we post it up into social media. So each one of our Trello boards has different themes. So when I'm first doing the content, I could spend a full day on a theme, and then it stores, and then I can grab it when I'm ready to do that theme again. Because then if you go monthly, then we go holidays. I mean, I'm like scheduled plan. And then they throw something new in, or we get something brand new at the store, then I'm just doing a quick photo. But every day, my normal is about 15 minutes in the morning and about 15 to 30 minutes at night. Alarm, done. And I do as much as I can in that time.
Can I jump in here, because you hit something that I've had to deal with a lot of, advising both clients, people I work with. When you generate the content, don't be afraid to do some general content that might not be focused, that you can save and set aside. Because then if you get in the thing, you get ready to go on vacation, what the hell am I gonna post next Thursday? Pull it out of the library, right? Particularly if they haven't seen it in a month or so, it'll be new, right? But that's the hardest thing with doing social media, is generating the content. That's what takes so
When you take the text, and you can put a new picture on it the next day.
Hey.
And people are like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know you did that, or I didn't see that before. And then you take the same picture and you can post it next week.
Yeah.
I mean, if you change the color a little bit, or maybe change the angle, crop it a little different,
Or if you have a complex topic where it would normally be about 4 paragraphs, break that up. That's 4 weeks of content, right? Because part of what you're doing with Haley's design, I think, is you're training your consumers also, right? The same way the sales papers always come out Wednesday in the newspaper, right? That you had to train people to do that. That's not a natural process. So this is the same sort of
keeping it interesting. And if you have a 4-part something, it's like, oh, today, and wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Friday, you're gonna get the biggest bonus. Or however, is then you've got them coming back. And make sure you comment to heart if you want to know more. Call to action.
And I think something else that's been useful for me in my career is, so at the end of the year, right, December, depending, obviously for retail it's a bit more busy, but for a lot of businesses it tends to slow down around Christmas time, right? You don't have patience as many. So I always create my social media calendar for the following year, in December. And then that's what I do. I map it out, and I put like, what are the things in January that I want to talk about? What are the national days? What are the things, right? So I fill those in all throughout the year. Well, first day of school, right? So I want to put a post for first day of school. In the mining industry, National Miners Day is December 6th, so I want to make sure I have a post that day. So I go through and figure out like the initial mapping of all my posts that I want to do, and that helps. It helps make it like less overwhelming too, right? When you're like, okay, like I can do this. And then when you have some free time, you start creating your content, right? And you save it. And then you keep your content in however you save your stuff. And then the next year, you already have your welcome back to school content created, right? You change it a little bit because it's a new year and you don't want to do the exact same thing. But for the most part, it's already created. And then you can just pull from it and use it again. So I think that's always been really helpful for me when there's a lot going on. Just creating that content calendar at the beginning of the year and having it ready to go. So, okay. Anything else on social media? Okay. And we have more time to chat about it if we want to, but we are going to do a branding activity, which I think will be super fun.
We'll trade you.
I'm on it. We are going to use these notebooks, and if you
Okay.
need something, a writing utensil, let us know. We just need like a pen or a pencil. You need a notebook?
I need one, yes.
Yeah. You have,
Thank you.
does everybody have a notebook? And a pen or pencil? Okay. So we're going to talk about brands a little bit. And when you think about brands, I think there are some brands out there that automatically come to mind as well-recognized brands or logos. Anybody throw one out to me. What's a logo that's easily
Mickey
recognized?
D's.
McDonald's, right? We talked about those golden arches. And it doesn't matter where you are at in the world, you see those golden arches and you know there's a quarter pounder with cheese not far away.
Two old beef
Or whatever.
sauce, pickles.
Right? Now I've got little ones and it's more like, oh, Happy Meals and a pie place, right? So for this activity, I'm going to name a couple of should be well-known logos and have you draw them from memory. So who likes coffee in here? Anybody? Or frappuccinos, maybe? Anybody heard of a place called Starbucks? All right, so what color is Starbucks logo? Green. Okay, so we got that, knowing that your drawings will not be green because we do not have green pencils. Please go ahead and take your best stab at drawing the Starbucks logo.
Yeah.
You will be graded at the end.
And I don't have to participate. Okay.
We have nothing artiste.
Don't go to Starbucks.
And if you just want to do the cross out thing, right? If you're a we don't like Starbucks kind of folks.
Sweet Cinder Tea. That's great. Homebrew.
It's a mermaid.
It's
It's a mermaid. It's very small and condensed, but I have them for the others. Also, I'm not an artist, okay?
We need to get you more of those art signs.
No, let's not do that.
See, I think we have some artists in the room who may be able to. I don't have any more prizes.
Yeah, I know, we only have one
We have
prize.
one prize. Get the fight over it. So can everybody picture the Starbucks logo in your mind? For the most part?
Yeah, it's got the wavy thing.
Well, that's what those-
Hello, have you seen
Like a goddess or something, mermaid.
Have you seen the Mandela effect with logos? Like Fruit of the Loom with the cornucopia versus not the cornucopia and stuff like that?
Oh.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's weird.
Okay. So I mentioned Starbucks. I asked what the color of the logo was. Everybody, there was no like, everybody knew the color of the Starbucks logo, right? Okay, does anybody want to show their logos that they drew? Anybody's done? Chelsea Toro. See, we have an artist. Okay, and there's lots of papers, like you didn't have to just use the top page.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
I'm trying to see, because I already have a stack here.
Okay, so we're gonna do one other one and then I'm gonna show you. So I got this off of LinkedIn, which is a social media platform I use very often, of a marketing gal that I follow on LinkedIn that she posted this. I'll show that with you when we're done. But so let's do the next one that we all, or some of us wish was close by.
Yeah.
Target. Okay, what color is the Target logo?
Red and white.
I love Target. I know. Me too.
That's all I know about it. Yeah, there's a dog with a spot.
I just know it's a Target.
That's one of those things that I was saying.
Is it 2 rings or 3 rings?
Well, is it too red or is it too white?
See? See?
No, I just work here.
We're gonna find out.
It's half red and half white.
Right, yes.
All right. So we have them in our memory, right? We know these logos. You can, if you saw it, obviously you'd know, right? There's a Starbucks, there's a Target, there are the Golden Arches, there's McDonald's. What's another something that
Swoosh.
a swoosh, right? So who's got the swoosh?
Got one on the back of my head.
You have one on the back of your head. Okay.
Scarf one.
Oh, in scar form. There you go. So there are these logos that are so recognizable in the world that you just grown up with them and you know exactly what they are. So let's talk about a bit why branding is so important. And these businesses have done a fantastic job with their branding, where we can just say, like, what does this look like? We might not be able to draw them all that well from memory, but you know, it doesn't have to have the word Apple, right? It doesn't have to have the word Nike. It doesn't have to have the word Starbucks or Target or any of those other ones. You just have the logo that goes there. So we'll go to the next slide. You guys can take a look. So this person that I pulled it up from, she hosted a thing and had people draw where they had colored pens and pencils to show their Starbucks and their Target logos that they drew. Which, so really, like the Starbucks logo is, the background is green, right? And so you got and we were talking about it was her hair, right? It's the mermaid or whatever person's hair. But the background is green and the drawing piece is white. But in general, right, Starbucks are green, Target's red. And then the next one shows the actual Starbucks logo. There's the memory ones they pulled up. If anybody else wants to share their memory ones, we can put on the thing. But we know what those logos look like. They're very recognizable to us as people in the world, and just goes to show what these corporations can do, what you can really do with your brand or your logo. So we'll talk about what people remember. So you want a logo that sticks, right? So our brains are amazing. It's amazing what we can remember as human beings. But it gets a bit fuzzy when you actually have to write it down or draw it. I think we could have done the swoosh pretty well. I think we could have done that for the arches. But understanding the psychology of memory is key. So color. And that was something that everybody knew, right? Everybody knew green, everybody knew red. That was easy for everybody in the room. So colors are powerful. They evoke emotions and can enhance brand recall. So it's something that's really important when you're creating your logos, when you're creating your brand for your company, or say you decide to do a rebrand, or you're looking at stuff that's already there and you're like, well, this color is a little bit different than this color. It's really important to have like branding guidelines, right? Choose your colors and stick with your colors. And I'm sure Toril could talk about this as an artist, right? But they're like, color's amazing. And when you're in like any of your programs, whether you have the more, if you've got Photoshop and those types of programs, but even in Word and PowerPoint, you go to choose a color and like all the choices that you have of the color red, right? And all the different shades. So get to the point where you have your color and you have there's the different, like there's RGB, like there's the codes, right, that go with each color, and create yourself a branding guideline for your business. So if your logo is red, it's always that same red, and regardless of which program you're using, you use the same exact color. And people might not think it's that big of a deal, but I guarantee that Starbucks logo is the exact same green, regardless of where it's at in the world. And that's what we all remembered, right? Was that green? So think about that. Think about the colors and make sure that you have a color scheme. And most like brand guidelines they have. You can have like your primary colors that you use, right, for your logo. And then if you're doing advertising or you're creating different things for your businesses, then you can have your secondary colors that you also use. But have a group of colors that you have approved that you're using for everything that you put out there, so that everything matches, which is really, go ahead.
I recommend also doing specific monochromatic logos, even if it's just black and white, because if someone's taking your logo and doing designs for you and they just pull it and make it black and white, it's not necessarily going to look the same as if you have a black and white logo or if you have monochromatic logos.
That's great. Shapes. So we talked about the swoosh, right? So simple, iconic shapes are easier to remember, like the arches, right? Everybody knows the arches. I mean, the Starbucks is obviously not a simple shape, but it's worked for them. Those swooshes, those arches, very simple shapes, one color for the most part, right? And everybody knows what they look like. And then typography. So the font you use can impact readability and memorability. So script is hard to read, for example. So depending on like when you're creating your logo, a lot of like Arial font is just simple, basic font, right? And a lot of organizations will use that as their font because it's easy to read. It doesn't, I mean, it's easy to read. It's easy to use on when you're, putting your logo onto different items. Because a lot of times if you get the swirly fonts and things like that, the script fonts, it's not so easy to put that on a hat or a mug or anything like that. So think about that when you're creating your brand and your logo. Like what does that look like when you want it on a shirt or you want it on a hat or something like that. Things to think about. So that's really my quick chat about branding, but I think a lot of folks don't necessarily think about that, like having your color schemes picked out and making sure that you stick to those. Also, when you're using your brand or your logo, don't distort it, right? So you have your logo, it's a certain shape. If you put it into a presentation or you're putting it onto a poster, don't stretch it. Like stretch from the corner, right? So make it bigger if you need it to be bigger, but don't stretch it from one side, the bottom or the top, and then it's long or just don't. Please don't do that. It just don't, because then it goes back to that professional piece, right? It doesn't look professional anymore. That's not what your logo looks like. If you need it to be bigger, go ahead and make it bigger. And then also use high resolution versions of your logos when you send them to folks, when you send it to the chamber for use on things, when you send it to print and copy or somewhere else to make you some swag, send them the high resolution copies or versions so then they can get it so it looks good, right? Or if it goes on if you're putting it on a billboard or something like that and it gets really big, it doesn't end up being pixelated and once again not looking professional. So
Who's got a brand? Yeah, how's it work? I mean, what are your tips?
So when I came up with, well, first of all, I took coming up with a business name sometimes is even hard. Like, what do you do? So I try to make it personal. So my business name is Journeys Around the World, but it's the first initial of all my kids. So Jake, Audrey, Tyler, and Wyatt. So I took those initials and made my business name from that. So I would always have it personal to me with my kids' name. Most travel agents, if you look at their logos, they're blue. Why? Because it's ocean, right? I went green because the earth is also green. So I try to make mine stand out just a little more and make it different from other people's, and I think it works for me.
That's great. Very cool.
And you have a logo?
Yeah, so Nevada Door School, we have our logo just says NOS, and it's got a picture of mountains in the background and a child's footprint for the center of the L because we're about outdoor education, and a lot of that has to do with educating the kids. On top of that, we also have NOS the Fox, which is also great for our summer camps because we'll go quite as NOS and do a little fox, and that's what kind of our center.
Right, yeah.
We have our branding colors, and then we also have our parameters of how we want our logo to be spaced, what fonts we're allowed to use, and then how we use those colors for different types. We do a lot of, since we're nonprofit, we have a lot of newspaper announcements. We have a lot of grant things that we have to do, so we have to follow those parameters as well. So we try to, yes, we're kids and friendly, we can't be too obnoxious for those professional environments.
So one thing you guys with your branding and your social media is this would be a great thing to share. What's the meaning behind the brand? And telling people. Because as you guys are sharing why you are who you are, in the little fox thing or whatever, I mean, how cute, right? And this could be a live video, this could be a stagnant post, but I mean, who wouldn't love to know that that's why you picked your name? And I think it'd be a really good thing to talk about.
I'm gonna share a funny story, and I wasn't laughing at you, Jamie. This was
Sure
when you were talking. Well, when you were talking color and choosing color brand, so I highly recommend doing that. And there's a Palatone and a bunch of online sites where you can do this. But do beware that web and print don't work the same. Emory University, when I was in graduate school, I ran the history department website. We went through a thing, this is right after 2000, Emory puts out a whole new branding guideline, and all of a sudden, every department on the Emory campus has these pastel colored websites. And the reason is that their branding guideline was focused on print, so they wanted the royal blue and gold of the Emory logo to show up, which meant pastel backgrounds for pages, and didn't think about how that would look on the website, but that was the branding guideline, so everybody went to the pastel colored web pages. So just be aware that when you're searching colors, be sure you're paying attention to what you're searching for.
Yeah, that's great. That's great feedback.
Canva's really great with keeping your brand. I love that. My husband actually created our logo originally, and I have so many ideas, of course, because I actually was social media manager for U-Haul Corporate for a good 10 years. But nonetheless, if you utilize Canva, it's a great platform. There's so many great options, but making sure that you create your brand and the color codes are all on there, and keeping your font, that way you don't have to remember, hey, what font did I use? But I went to school for marketing at ASU back a long time ago. It's funny, everyone's like, how old are you? I'm like, don't ask. But anyways, I have 5 kids and going on number 6, so nonetheless, we're always so many things. But Canva, I really love that. I wanted to ask you, as far as like being able to create content, do you guys utilize, what do you guys find is most effective? Pictures, text, like, you know, I know some people actually, for us, because we're a wellness clinic, I feel like there's so much information that general public does not know. So what I create is content that is just, you know, text and information. Like today we talk about Epstein-Barr. Like nobody knows that 80% of the population actually has EBV. Well, that actually turns into chronic stuff. But what do you guys feel like your content gets the most interaction? I'm kind of working on increasing our following. At the same time, I think for us as a wellness clinic, being able to inform the public and create awareness about certain things that they may not know, like why are we eating processed foods when the whole middle of the grocery store is like processed foods. But what do you guys suggest as far as for the wellness field? You know, I think everybody's different depending on your industry, of course. But for able to create content, pictures, I mean, I love pictures, but as far as being able to incorporate pictures and information and too much text, I'm wondering if I'm putting too much on there.
I do pictures. I do a lot of pictures.
I think having some sort of attention grabber is important.
Yes.
A lot of people are just scrolling through social media platforms, and if they see a whole slew of things, they're not going to take the time to read it, like Haley mentioned earlier.
Yes.
So even having something
Like a shocking fact or something, or a statistic.
yeah, something like that, and then click the link to find out more, or anything like that, because then you can direct them back to your website, which has all of the information that they could be looking for.
Sure.
But you're doing it to where you're not flooding the feed with all of the information for the people that are just scrolling past, and you're getting those key targeted people that want the information, if that makes sense.
Especially if you're doing a grabby picture with some kind of statistic on it. So
Infographics.
70 to 90% of the women lack vitamin C. And then you could say, are you one of them? And then you could literally say some kind of really great fact. For more information, click here, takes you to a website, or here's a picture, or here's put a heart in the comment and I'll reach out to you and I'll send you our ebook or whatever it is to get. But super powerful in the beginning, because if I am a woman who's lacking vitamin C, you're catching me with a picture. And then you say the quote, I'm going, oh wait, this is talking to me. And of course I'm going into it. But my husband, who could care less, is just going to keep on scrolling.
Depending on the demographic.
But having some type of call to action to get that response, so that people are reacting to it, or they're commenting on it, or they're following the link to your website, and then you can follow up with them based on that reaction.
You give them a Google form and they fill out their information. Yeah.
Would you say it also depends though also on platform? So I wouldn't put anything on Facebook that didn't have a picture attached, because nobody's gonna see it. But But, you know, something like Twitter, you can get away
Yeah.
with a text only. In Instagram, I would avoid text totally for the most part, outside of a little short call to action at
Yeah.
most.
People like pictures.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, if we want, in closing, if there's anything you learned that you'd like to share, or if there are any more tips, because we're learning that we have some folks here that probably could have taught this class. And so if you have any other tips with branding or social media that you'd like to share with the group, now's the opportunity before we close out.
I just,
Go ahead.
Sorry, there's a little section after each post. What I really love about Facebook is it gives you, the analytics and saying like how many people look at. I love that I'm getting a lot of numbers, but I'm like, how do I get more interaction? At the same time, it's really interesting because we don't accept insurance and we're cash pay. Everybody asks, well, why don't you accept insurance? I said, insurance pays for pills and prescriptions. That's pretty much it, right? And do you want to be on a pill for the rest of your life? I don't like to be too brash, so my thing is I always stay really cordial and content-wise. I also don't want to be too silly because I'm like, okay, we're in the healthcare field and I don't want to put like a funny gif, but I guess time and place, I'm trying to really get a good feel for our followers. But the being able to look at analytics is so amazing. I love social media SEO, search engine optimization, because you're able to really see hey, how are people actually clicking our link? It's funny because 15 years ago, probably about 10 to 15 years ago, I was attending our corporate SEO meetings, and they would talk about analytics. They would talk about all these scheduling and everything, and I'm like, oh, that's great and all, and I'm like, but now it's a different field, healthcare field. U-Haul, corporate, they have a lot of resources. Go spend your buy ads. The question is for everybody, and it depends on, personally, I told my husband, I'm not spending any sponsored ads. I don't think that our business needs to be spamming everybody and saying, hey, we're clinics here in town. If people that want to see us truly want to help with their health long term, and they want true longevity and optimizing their health, they can come to us, but my job is to communicate that we are here. So it's really interesting because I admit, so I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, born and raised, city girl. So when he said, we're going to Eureka, which is 2 hours away from here. I'm like, what? And deer in the background, a backyard, mountain in the backyard, no Whole Foods, no organic stuff anyways. And so I love how you guys all, telling me about the community. I haven't even ventured out to Lamoille yet because
don't go, there's men in black masks.
But slowly and gradually, my husband took my daughter out and they were chasing waterfalls, and they apparently came across a mountain lion. I'm like, okay, you guys can do that, please don't get out of the car. No, they actually threw a ham sandwich at the, it was actually captured by the wildlife, whatever organization. But nonetheless, I think that being able to really see everybody in their different backgrounds, and it really is so refreshing because for me as a city girl, yes, I had a lot of conveniences, but your chamber, you guys have done a really great job in creating the content and everything.
So I want to throw an idea at you, and it is what's different about me on Wednesdays?
Yeah.
Or what are the benefits of our company? And if you did every Wednesday, here's a benefit, and explain why we don't take insurance, why we only take cash, and how it works for me.
Right.
Those benefits, and hey, we stand out in the community, or we stand out in our field because we're passionate about and really be intentional, and maybe put a dollar bill as a picture, help let us save you.
Yeah.
Or maybe I would put all the pills with a little big line through it,
Right.
And then because that would get my attention, and it's how people are curious why we don't take insurance, and really promote that and highlight it in your business. I think it could go a long ways.
That helps a lot, yeah. I'm I have so much, I tend to be a talkative person, so I throw out a lot of information, but I'm how do I track
the retention or the people coming back, you know. Here's another thing is like, okay, why do we eat? Like, it's funny thing, I was like, oh, I didn't, I don't normally do this, but I'm like, okay, mommy has to go to meetings, so I like got my babysitter, got the girls all set up, and I did grab a smoothie, but I haven't eaten all day. I'm like, okay, so as far as like, you know, being able to really ask people, attention grabbers, I think that is a key thing, element, because all of our businesses, right, what do we stand for? What is our branding, right? People, they're like, what are you? And our name's kind of long, Primary Choice Health and Wellness, but my husband, he's like, you know what, I want them to understand if you, we are their primary choice for health. Like, we're talking about long-term health, you know, and it's really screwed up how the insurance companies, I know everybody's like, I have insurance, do you accept Medicare or Medicaid? I'm like, well, sorry, we don't, and I never knew how to answer that question. So again, asking yourselves what your company stands for and being able to communicate that to the community, I think just being able to optimize that for me helps a lot. Yeah. But as far as your social media, do you do it all yourself?
Oh, no.
Oh, I wondered.
I create the content, but I have 2 people who work with me.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
You
But
know
I'm
what?
in it. I am answering, and I'm definitely in it.
My daughters are growing up, and they're like, I'm like, think about your passions. What do you guys want to do? I'm like, right now, since mommy's gonna guide you, I'm like, you're gonna learn a skill, and I want you to choose a skill, but it has to be a skill that helps you help everybody, and whatever it is, because I think I homeschool my children, and I know I'm crazy, but like being able to guide everybody. Sorry, I'm too talkative. You're probably ending it, but I think that's so important. Yeah. Well, thank you. Yes. Hopefully we get to the point.
Somebody said something, was it you earlier, about how much time are you on social media? So for me, I'm on social media all day long. And so I have, most of my business comes from social media. Referrals, messages, and my issue is, so you have a personal page and a business page. Well, I have friends who want to go on trips, and I have to be like, can you take this conversation to the business page? Because trying to track personal, trying to track business, trying to I posted in Elko People Reporting News, the Women Cave today. Oh, great, there's a post, who's a travel agent? Great, now tagged 20 times, and I wake up and I go, okay, now I have to go through, sometimes it's
That's a
very
bad
overwhelming.
problem to have,
I know
right?
it's bad. It can get overwhelming when it's just you.
Yeah.
So I spend almost all day, like my Facebook, I probably need another monitor just so I can keep my Facebook over here and keep my other stuff that I'm doing quotes or whatever over here. But, so I think for everybody's business is probably a little different, but I'm on social media all day long.
And like the chamber, we're not necessarily always posting our own content, but we have over 700 members. We try to like and follow and share all of their content, or as much as we can possibly find, right? And so there's only 4 of us that work here. 3 of us right now because Billy left us in the trenches. But I mean, we have Facebook open constantly, and that's not our only job, but one of your chamber member benefits is having your content shared to our page because of our following. So we're constantly on there looking for things to post too.
Thank you.
If you want to show up more as your business and have that be where people go, then show up more in your business. And does that make sense?
Yes.
And then give your personal page just a little bit less for right now, and then really show up in your business. And when people comment from your business. So if I tagged you in something saying, "Hey, Paris was awesome,"
Right.
then you would reply to me from your business. Does that make sense?
Makes it more personable, huh? Yeah, there's a person
Did you
behind
mention
that.
Right. And it's hard to, and because they're your friends.
But you can change your setting on your top, right? Because I have 4.
4 pages.
Yeah, making sure that you are commenting on
And
the
it's
right
like,
one.
oh, great,
Oh, yeah.
wow.
Who am I
your
right
personal
now?
page.
Right, yes.
But you can do that, so
Right.
be very mindful in being.
I just politely say, I would love to help you. Can you please send me a message on my, it's just so much
Tag
easier.
them over there.
Right.
Like, as you start to transfer people over and let
Right.
people know, and when you're at business after hours, say, oh gosh, will you
Because
go
they
to
tag
my
me
business?"
as me, like
Yeah.
this morning
Yeah.
on Elko, they're personally tagging me. So then, of course, she messages me.
Yeah.
So then I have to, so I'm almost having to retrain everyone, hey,
But that
tag
would
the
take-
business.
Yeah, but if you show up more as your business, pretty soon people will be doing that.
But even then, when they're messaging your personal page, like we get a ton of people messaging our personal page, we'll go into the chamber page and be like, hey, how can I help you? And message them directly, because don't message our personal pages. That's not what, don't do that,
Yeah.
you know, so.
So can you, okay, so can you send a message out on your business page to someone who hasn't?
Yes.
How?
They have to accept it, but you can send a message, and then if they're not friends of yours or don't follow you or whatever, then they would just get something saying, so-and-so wants to send you a message.
So you just go through, find Jim Joe Bob,
Yep.
and then write him a message, and you
From
won't,
your
it
business.
won't show up until they respond back. Okay. Just that drives me buggy, because I'm like, I can't message anyone here. Like, this is.
And you could take it a little further and say, hey, I sent you a message, look for it in your inbox. You guys, with all of the scamming and all of the duplication of.
People don't want to
of
put in
things,
anything.
So right now, if I am friending somebody or requesting somebody join my group or my page or something, I send them a message that says, hey, this is Haley, I just want to let you know that I did send you a friend request. I did send you a message from Indigo. I did, and I'm letting them know that so that they're not unsure about all of this stuff going on.
Right.
And the more, so interacting with them even in that, like that built points.
Right.
Oh, okay, you took the time to like tell me that you actually said, be my friend. Hey,
Right.
thanks for being my friend.
Right.
You know, I really appreciate your referring my business,
Right.
Which is called this.
yeah, and then tag yourself, you know.
All right, well, I think we're up on time, but we decided rather than drawing a ticket, we were going to gift our $25 chamber check to Miss Toro for the best Starbucks logo. Did you guys get the Starbucks did not pay for